I plan on doing the politics more, but there are book reviews that I sort of wanted to make, and you remember if you paid attention to my birth and stuff that I wanted to do a book review on that. Well, so much for that, because obviously I didn't do it. But anyways, um, there's this book review of this book that I want to do, and it's basically the only book I could finish in my fucking schedule in life this year, which really sucks. But it's short, so it was easy to like get through pretty quick. Basically, basically, it talks about the incentive structure around certain demographics that they wanted to reproduce. Welfare was initially for the demographics they wanted, such as white people and yada yada yada. But ironically enough, conservatives, very recently, when the demographics got the welfare that they didn't want, the demographics, they would call them welfare queens, obviously. But anyways, it's a very good book, and it talks about how the nations have always tried to incentivize birthing. It's not just the Nazis. And even though we remember eugenics because of the Nazis, they modeled it after us, so we can't really jump to the Nazis. Yeah, so pronatalists, this book is actually a pronatalist versus eugenic birth control type of narrative, where even though, and this is a very good thing to always remember, women deserve their autonomy to search for abortions and contraceptives. But when bureaucracy starts to make it so that you're incentivized to, no matter the cost, this book is basically about how women's bodies are being played with constantly. And so, even though it's not necessarily about minorities being harmed, as we have seen when Roe was taken out to engineer the population, lots of white people were harmed, 10-year-olds, yada yada. Conservatives love that. They think you're old enough to have a child, but not old enough to get an abortion. And yes, they would give cash bonuses and lots of payouts, welfare, to the populations they wanted to grow. Meanwhile, it sort of turned into fear that their demographic would get a hold of abortion and contraceptives, because women, as I said, will always search for it and go after it. All nations of the world have practiced eugenics. Mexico, America, and the rest of Americas. So this isn't just a United States, Nazi Germany, Britain issue. This is it seems as though there are extremists and pronatalists. Pronatalists aren't always extremists, because it makes sense that not a healthy, but a nation in general to exist, you need lots of people, or people in general, to maintain it, because the system is based on programmed obsolescence. And so it really just sees women as the foundation of this topic. They will always be used in this experimental playground, so to speak, because nations, there's always new things going on with the populace and what they want, and so the government has to go around that. So, and the populace wants their consent, so they're not always going to accept contraceptives and abortion, but because they know that it's just an incentive to lessen their family. And so this is really a story about how women's bodies are constantly being played. White women don't